Nope, not yet. It's so funny. I wonder if it comes on for you sooner than it comes on for me. I see yesterday's. There we go. Look at that. Let's bring it in a little closer there. Let's see how that sets up right. I like it to be a little bit closer, a little bit more intimate. Hi there. It's Thursday. It's our last day together doing this here in Beverly Hills. Just kind of, getting the week towards the end. We have meetings today. As a matter of fact, it was funny. Usually I try to leave some time between my last meeting and this meditation so I can, kind of take a look and see what's happening. Oh, look at, hi, Kathy. Hello, Valerie. Hello, Michelle. And Irene. Wow, that's a lot of people on for the first 2 minutes of this. And hello, Chuck and Lisa. The regulars are here. I imagine Andy and Helene are here also. But so I literally had a meeting right before this. And I'm like, so what time is it? Is it 5:15? And he's like, it's 5:29. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to go and do meditation. So my energy is like a little higher than it normal is. I like to bring myself down so that when I start the meditation, I'm in this kind of, mellow place. But I can get there. It's not hard. It's our last time to look at what happens in our Torah portion, Chayei Sarah. And the first day we looked at, how do we divide our lives? Yesterday we looked at, do we have a way that we approach our life where we look and say, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to do that. Do we have an if-then scenario that occurs to us? Today I thought that we could talk about the idea of whether a person can take another person's place in our lives. The very end of our Torah portion, it says that, and there is, not quite sure what that means, Valerie, but that's okay. There's this idea at the end of the Torah portion when Isaac meets Rebecca, and they go into Sarah's tent, and basically Rebecca takes the place of Sarah. It says that in the last part of the Torah portion, it says that Isaac, his heart, it's almost like his heart was relieved finally, and that that Rebecca was able to take up that role that Sarah had for him, which I imagine was someone who loved him and nurtured him and took care of him. And so it makes me think about the people that are in our lives, and whether there ever could be a substitute for any of them. Because each person that's in your life can give you something a little bit different. And as much as it says that Rebecca took the place of Sarah, they're not the same person. They're not going to treat him the same way. They're different. And each person in Isaac's life, whether it's Sarah or Rebecca or Abraham, treated him differently. And his reaction to each of them obviously is an important part of what makes him alive. But that he was comforted by Rebecca after the death of his mother Sarah. People can comfort us, but does that mean that they're taking the place of that person? And it got me just kind of into this idea that each human being that we come into contact with and that we if we live with them, or we spend time with them, or if they're a part of our everyday existence. And I'll include all of the people that I work with here at the temple. I'll even include the people at the Starbucks that I go to every single morning. These are people I see every day, and each one of them kind of has a role in my life. I'm not necessarily using them, but each has a role, just as my family has a role in my life as well. And it's like, what do we do with that concept that one person or one thing can fill in or take up where another person left off and take the place of that person? Is that even possible? Or do we need to look at every single person we meet as a unique individual that offers something to us that no other human being does? And I think personally that's where I prefer to keep my thoughts, in that every person I meet, everybody that I come into contact with, everyone who's actually a part of my life offers something that I can gain from them. And it's different for each human being. The conversations I have with my wife, Michelle, are different than the conversations I have with my buddy, Tom. Those are names that were just made up, by the way. And that each person that enters into my life, I can grow from them in some way that's different and unique. And what I think bothers me about this idea that Rebecca, kind of took the place of Sarah is, there's no way that she took the place of Sarah. And Isaac shouldn't be treating Rebecca in the same way that he treated his mother. And she shouldn't treat Isaac in the same way that his mother treated Isaac. That there's a different relationship that each one of us have with every person that we're in contact with. And if we lump everybody together to say, oh, these are all my friends, and each one, they're just my friends, and it's the group, and I treat all of them the same, I actually don't think that's possible. I don't think we do treat every one of our friends the same. So to think that one could take the place of the other, it just doesn't work. It's just different. It doesn't mean that the second person can't have an important part of your life, but it's not going to be the same. And if you have an anticipation that they're going to give you the same things that another person gave you, you're going to be disappointed by them. So I guess part of the thoughts here are, what do the most important people in your life bring to you? What is it that you gain from them? How is it that they enhance your life? What can you learn from them? What is it that they have that you can grow because of knowing them? And if you think about that from each person that you really are in contact with, you'll see that each person is so unique and so different. You can't say, well, this one left and this one just took their place. It's like, I guess, the one relationship that a lot of us have in our lives that we have many, could be an animal, like a dog or a cat or something, right? And you may have 2 or 3 dogs growing up, and each dog is completely different. You get something different from them, but they're all your dog. You could say, I got this one to replace the one that I don't have anymore, but they're actually not taking the place of the other animal. They're just a new one that's filling the space where that previous animal was. So maybe that's the way that we can think of it, is that each person that we have fills the space around us differently, and that each one can help us to be kind of an organic human being in the world, and each one of them brings us to a different place. Okay, so I went a little past where I like to go. Let's get ourselves into a comfortable yet dynamic position so that you're not going to fall asleep. And I have my little bell here. Remember, we're just concentrating on our breath. Our thoughts will come into it. Just accept that. Our thoughts will take us away. And when you can, notice that you're thinking. Notice your mind is taking you away. And without judgment, bring yourself back. Bring yourself back to your breath. And let's spend the next 15 minutes just concentrating on breathing and just being instead of doing. Just a little reminder that it's totally natural for your thoughts to take you away from thinking about your breath. So just without judgment, just bring yourself back. As we move to our final several minutes together, we invoke the final of the three priestly benedictions and the feelings behind it. May I feel joy, and may I feel whole. That idea of feeling whole comes from that last word, shalom, which we, of course, think of as peace or hello and goodbye, but in reality, the root of shalom is wholeness, completeness. To be complete, to be whole, to be full. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. May I feel whole. May I feel joy. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. Joyous and whole. If you want to offer it to somebody, place them in front of you. May you feel joy. May you feel whole. Offer it right to them. May you feel joy. May you feel whole. May you feel joy and whole. May you feel joy. May you feel joy. May you feel whole. And just bring it back around to yourself. May I feel joy. May I feel whole. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you were able to find some peace and stillness. May you feel joy, and may you feel whole. May you have a beautiful evening, a fantastic Shabbat, a great weekend, and happy Halloween. And Valerie, you can go back to watching your Packers game. Have a great night, everybody.